Hey everyone, I'm Jay and I do stuff. So a couple years ago, I made a few videos detailing and sharing my thoughts on Pokemon cutting the national dex. Basically, Game Freak had made the decision to stop coding every single past Pokemon into the latest series of games, making it so you straight up cannot transfer some of your favorite mons into the current games. When this was first announced during the release of Pokemon Sword and Shield, nearly the entire internet exploded into a frenzy, demanding to have every single Pokemon back into the games again. Recently, Pokemon just announced the newest games for Generation 9, Scarlet and Violet. Not like previous main series games like Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, or Legends Arceus, which I will refer to as sub-main series games. But that topic could warrant its own video. Anyways, digging into the site for the current games lists that you'll only be able to transfer certain mons via Pokemon Home. Which means, you guessed it, not every Pokemon will be coded in again. However, this time the general public seems pretty content and accepting with the overall cut now. Why is that? Have people forgotten why they wanted the national dex back in the first place? Are they at the final stages of grieving? Well, instead of ranting about why this is bad for like the third time, I'm going to tackle this in a slightly different manner. I want to discuss having a favorite Pokemon and the value of deep customization, because I feel that the term National Dex has a bit of misunderstanding behind its meaning. When people think of the National Dex, what usually comes to mind is the old National Dex feature of past games. Back then, having the National Dex meant that every Pokemon from Gen 1 to the current had new, unique entries in the Pokedex. Sword and Shield, while not having a National Dex, did have DLC expansions that added new Pokedex entries for all the Pokemon obtainable within those areas, effectively making it so that every Pokemon in the game are both obtainable in-game and have new Pokedex entries. Now, having to program all that for every Pokemon in every game would be a nightmare for anyone. However, to clear things up once and for all, when we say we want the National Dex back, this is not what we mean. When we say to bring back the National Dex, all we're asking for is for every Pokemon alone to simply be in the code of the games to be transferred. No Dex entries, no available location within the game itself, just the Pokemon models, animations, sounds, moves, and stats. That is all. Having that huge disclaimer out of the way, why is having all Pokemon so important? Well, as of these current games, we are almost to 1,000 Pokemon total. Now, times that by another 1,000 or two, and you have nearly every person on the planet. Basically, with all the unique and varied Pokemon there are, every Pokemon is bound to be someone's favorite. Ones that some people like so much that they never go anywhere without them. Whenever someone brings up wanting to bring their favorite Pokemon that they've had for years into the latest games but can't, people ridicule them saying that they're weird or crazy for putting that much care and love into essentially ones and zeros. So if this is your way of thinking, you are both heartless, insensitive, and don't understand the true meaning of Pokemon. Although, some of these people who make these claims are the same people who whine about background music in specifically the English version of a Japanese cartoon.
But long story short, a bunch of stuff happened in the months leading up to its release that caused a lot of people to swear them off. I wasn't going to buy into all of it and save my thoughts for when I played the game for myself.
But as with any not-so-civilized internet debates, you have those who are just completely off their rockers.
This Infernape has been my best friend for 13 years, and I cannot fathom why Game Freak would dare remove him from the game.
I like to call it stupid people. And also, people who just need to play more video games.
But no, we're the ones who are crazy apparently. But really, am I and other people like me truly crazy for caring about things we literally put effort, sweat, and tears into? Let's take a look at the Pokemon anime for a second. As someone who primarily grew up with the anime series and didn't get into the games until later, I was always brought up to believe that you were supposed to develop deep bonds with your Pokemon partners. Best and most generic example of this being Ash with Pikachu. We've seen them go through thick and thin, but yet they always stay together. Now imagine if Ash couldn't bring Pikachu to a new region, leaving him to abandon his top buddy in favor of some other not as marketable mons. It just wouldn't be the same, both for the characters nor the audience. How would that be any different than other people missing their favorite mons? Mascot status aside. It's not that we want to have every single Pokemon to look at sitting in the PC like a living dex. It's more that every Pokemon is someone's favorite. So Game Freak not batting an eye to these people whose mainstays are cut makes them feel insignificant as if they don't matter. When I first got back into the Pokemon games back in 2012, I mainly played the games as the main protagonist character and what Pokemon I'd imagine they'd have, rather than what team I would personally use. I wanted my teams to have some kind of significance rather than just catch a bunch of random different mons for only 1 or 2 tasks, then leave them in the PC after serving their purpose. Eventually, I decided to make my own team of Pokemon I liked just for the heck of it. However, the more I looked at and played with this team, the more attached to them I became. So much so that when X and Y came out, I decided to play the game as myself with the Pokemon I had grouped together. I used this team of Pokemon throughout Gens 5 through 7, more especially Porygon. But I was also fond of my other mons like Pinsir. I remember when X and Y and Sun and Moon were released respectively. Seeing Pinsir get its own Mega Evolution and Porygon getting a boost with Z conversion always got me hyped. I even had fun with my favorite Pokemon playing Let's Go Eevee. Since it was only Gen 1 Pokemon which most of my team was made out of, I didn't really bat too much of an eye at the missing mons. Especially since Porygon was my always go-to mon, with Pinsir being a close second. However, when Sword and Shield were released, that's when everything went south. Playing through the game at launch, I wasn't able to use my usual Pokemon, not even Porygon. Sure, there were some cool mons in Sword and Shield like Sirfetch'd, Copperajah, and Barraskewda, but the fact that I couldn't bring in my signature mons even if I wanted to really dragged the experience for me. Whether that be playing through the main game or doing more competitive stuff. I mean, base Sword and Shield did have Rhydon, Shuckle, and Steelix, but at that point, Porygon had pretty much become the signature mascot of my team. Call me petty all you want, but it just wouldn't feel right having some of the team but not Porygon. Remember what I said about Ash and Pikachu? I also remember up to the release of the games, I was so concerned about whether or not my Porygon was even going to be in. I was even bullied and harassed by people all because all I wanted was not even all the mons in the games. I just wanted to have my one top favorite. Is that really too much to ask for? Granted, ever since the DLC expansions were released, I was able to get all of my original team back, including Porygon. However, even after the Crown Tundra expansion, I still have some favorites sitting in Pokemon Home that can't be transferred to Sword and Shield. Free updates and DLC are now a thing, so they could have potentially added the rest over time to be transferable. Although, in Sword and Shield's case, even after both its DLC expansions, we still don't have all the old Pokemon in the games. And seeing how Gen 9 is coming up on the horizon, I doubt we'll ever see mons like Gliscor, Smeargle, or Greninja in Gen 8. I must admit though, I should feel pretty blessed that my favorite Pokemon Porygon has been in every main series and sub-main series game on the Switch so far. But for others, I can't even imagine how it must feel not to have Pokemon like Greninja in any main series Switch game so far. I feel like something like this could apply to anyone, not just me. Or at least that's what you'd think. From what I can gather, most of the people who just don't care about having all the Pokemon either don't have a favorite, or don't care enough about them. And that's just sad. You'd think after seeing media like the anime, commercials for transfer services, or even in-game text would give off the impression that your partner Pokemon are supposed to be very close to you. To have them around forever and so forth.
For everyone who's played the Pokemon series for a long time, I'm sure all the Pokemon that you have trained are very important to you. So I hope you can take them with you and make them come alive in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y.
Is everyone playing the games wrong, or am I? It gets kinda confusing thinking about both sides. It's like some people just eat up whatever Pokemon game comes out and gives nothing but praise without any regard with how they typically play them. Pokemon is a game all about choice. There are thousands of monsters to make whole teams out of. Everyone has their own ways of playing the games. Look at me, I always start off my playthroughs with a Porygon. After I box my initial starter, but you get the point. That's the whole beauty of what makes Pokemon Pokemon. Going out and sharing your different experiences in Mons through trading and battling. Even the developers at Game Freak used to realize this.
In order for this to happen, the connection between the trainer and their Pokemon becomes very important. I think there will be a moment when a player's feelings seem to actually go into the game and combine with their Pokemon.
But alas, they've appeared to have forgotten. I'm sure even if Scarlet and Violet get additional DLC, they still won't add in the rest of people's favorite Pokemon. It's not like anything I say would help persuade their decision. Oh, but they still will add every single overpowered box legendary at some point. That's pretty much guaranteed. But I hope I was able to make some sense to people. I obviously can't speak for every person, but I know to some, we hold our particular Pokemon very close and want to remain close, which is the name of the game. Or at least it's what it should be. But it seems more and more unlikely, given Pokemon's current business model of rushing out 3 main series games within the span of 1 year. Thank you for watching, I'm out. Thank you for watching the video. If you'd like to be notified about when I upload a new video, click that subscribe button and also click the little bell icon next to it. I'd love to show my video projects to as many people as I can.